Well, hello folks, here we are with our Mayor's Message for this week. A Mayor's Message with a difference. I have the pleasure of having our ex-councillor Clayton Hawkins with me. Look, Clayton's come along and I really appreciate him making his time available. We recently were presented with his resignation as a councillor, and I'd just like to have a chat with him for a while and talk about his involvement in his almost 4 years on the council. He was elected, he won by the length of Goldie Street when he was elected, and recently, and in just 4 years ago at the beginning of this term, and yeah, so I'm sure his choice of furthering his personal goals, and when he returns he'll have a solid foundation, and we only hope he returns to this council for the contribution he's made to the community in the just under 4 years that he's been on board. Well, Clayton, thanks very much for your contribution through the period of your role as a councillor.
It's an absolute pleasure, Robbie.
I was very sorry to see you go. You know, it's but your contribution and the way you were elected from the community in their respect must have made you feel really good.
It did. I might have got elected by the length of Goldie Street,
Yeah.
but I was still the length of Goldie Street behind you, Mr. Mayor.
Oh. No, take that out of it. We'll have to edit that, please.
No worries.
No, look, no, you've been a valuable contributor around the table. I'm sure you're sound and steady, and you've steadied the ship in many occasions, and I appreciated your support because I think we're all batting for the same team, and you took a very sensible approach to some very serious matters, and I only hope what you've put on the table, on the drawing board, we can see fulfilled in the near future, and to your satisfaction. And I believe if you know, if you see things aren't travelling as you thought they should have been directed, I'm sure that we'll welcome your contribution as a community member.
I'll be on to you, Robbie. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, look, some of the things that you brought to the table, you know, what of those, what would the highlight of your contributions be, and how the ones you feel most good about?
That's an interesting question, in that I came in with what people joke to be a no agenda
Yep.
when I came on council, and mine was to think strategically, try and bring that horizon a bit higher, try to think further down the track. You know, those buzzwords that are around at the moment, like intergenerational equity.
Yes.
You know, trying to think about future councils and not trying to put the burden onto them, and is it more fiscally responsible to be doing it now? Does it create better impact on doing it now? That kind of thing. And if anything, my proudest thing was, I believe that I've helped the council to be a lot more forward thinking, and I'm not saying that it wasn't.
No.
But I've tried to bring, I guess, another generational view to some of these issues.
A vision
Yeah.
to end up. A
Yeah.
vision, a strategic
And
vision.
one of the things I am very proud of is that we do have a lot of plans, master plans, that kind of thing on the table, but we're starting to really make inroads into some of those now. They're not just a shelf product, they're actually something that's being done.
Yep.
And there's things being done towards the Sports and Community Precinct Master Plan.
Yes.
You know, we've got our waterfront developments, the CAM one. There's now a Frederick Street Reserve one that's going under, and I think we're actually going ahead well.
Yep. We've got a destination.
Yeah,
Planned a
good point.
destination. Yeah,
Yeah.
Planned a destination where we're not flying blindly. As you know, we've got some plans for the future and strategically mapped for us. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know how you feel, and you know, through your career path now, and you know the opportunities that exist there. You know, you just couldn't miss your contribution and your commitment to that. I know how you feel. You know, and I believe, you know, you'll turn around and the day will come when you're an old fella like me. You'll say. Oh, I could say to myself, I wish I'd have taken more opportunities at your age.
Yeah.
Where I am now would have been a huge help to me.
Yeah.
I can assure you. You know, but no, we appreciated your contribution. On another matter, you know, you've seen the rollout of resource sharing. In a couple of words, what do you think of that?
I think it's a fantastic initiative,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's purely a financial focus. I think it by pooling resources to create those wider social outcomes, more stability within the organisation. I'll give a very simple example. We're relatively small councils,
That's right.
and we can afford X amount for an engineer. So I'm just plucking out an engineer as a career here.
Yes.
An X amount at their neighbouring council. By pooling those funds, you can actually get a high quality engineer and one on the way up, and so you've got this mentoring process.
That's right.
So I think it's also good about succession planning within the organisation, and that's not a few words,
No.
but in summary, it's bigger bang for what we try and do collectively.
Yeah, yesterday morning I came in. Most Monday mornings I have a session with the GM, but this particular Monday I wasn't on deck, and Tuesday morning he came in and had a word with me, and that word led to a couple of hours, and we talked about things that are happening, and there's so many things in the pipeline now in regard to resource sharing, and Burnie are really paying a lot of attention, Burnie City Council, to what Waratah, Wynyard and Serpentine are doing. And
I think there's quite a few councils looking at us, Robbie.
Yep.
I really do.
Yep. And I know our GM gets on well with all the GMs in the state, and he's recognised for his contribution and his structure of and seeing it through, and the progress it's making. It's a real. We have got a real ace in the structure that this GM has made of this resource sharing process, and it's looked upon Australia-wide,
Absolutely, and we've seen nationally that there's that big A word, the amalgamation word. We're actually showing that there's an alternative to this. You can keep your local governance structures, your local councillors, whatever, but still working collectively with your neighbours, rather than having to be one organisation.
Right. Yep, we can retain our own identities in a big way still, and still progress and be economical and management-wise. As you say, it's not all about money. It's the good management of it all. Yeah, and what a shortage it is for professional staff. And this is a way of mentoring this professional staff and bringing them along under senior guidance.
And we want to show that local government in Tasmania is a career. It's not necessarily a stepping stone, which some people consider a local council who can only afford X, Y, and Z for certain.
That's right.
We're a destination for employees.
Yeah. One our OH&S and HR people and things like that, I know we've set the pole and the standard for that, the accreditation and the recognition that the safety aspect and that has come into the OH&S thing, and the recent award the higher achievement our staff recently achieved in that is, it's great to think our shared staff have improved, the situation in that regard.
And that's another strong advantage of the resource sharing, is the knowledge sharing.
That's right. And not letting the cat out of the bag, but I know some of the staff resources that we've got are looked upon with envy from some other councils, and it's better to be able to share them than lose them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's better to be able to offer their services to some understudies in another council sooner than lose those staff, because things can become very attractive when you're getting results. And but anyway, Clayton, it's going to be always stick with you, Councillor Hawkins, I know that.
Well, I'll have to say, I'll be back. I've said that to the camera.
Churchill said that, didn't he?
Yeah.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. It's just I've got a couple of other priorities right at this moment. A couple of career opportunities. I have a doctorate to finish and that kind of thing. There's an election in 12 months' time, Robbie.
We never done by then?
Well, that's the plan.
Oh, really?
That's the plan.
Oh, really?
Yes. No promises, but
No.
there is an election in 12 months.
Ah.
But then it's 5 years till the next one. But
yes, that's right. But no, look, I just can't help repeating it again. You won hands down. You came in a first timer, and it's hard to get the support first up.
Mhm.
But you know, as a young fella, and this is another thing that I think has been a great benefit to you. You know, several generations of family in the municipality,
Mhm.
and known from the the esteem that your families have been held in, your various generations. You know, you don't just get that overnight. You don't just walk into a place and get that overnight. It was a credit to you how you were elected, and yeah, and I was pleased to see you come on board. And before you even come to the council table, people were telling me we've got a good one here. And
Oh, that's nice to know.
no, it
Thank
was.
you.
It was mentioned to me, and you know, people, as you grew up around the area and things you were involved with, and the drive you had in those things that you were involved in, left a mark. Yeah, you can still relate to those things. Before we close, there was just one thing we wondered. How did this nickname Cabbage stick to you? Is that a nickname, or don't you like cabbage?
No, you've caught me off guard here.
Have I?
Here we go. Early 90s, at high school, long hair was starting to come into fashion, and I was
Okay.
growing my hair out. To keep it out of my eyes, I wore a cap.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I took my cap off and all this hair buffed out like this.
Mhm.
And someone said, your head looks like a cabbage, and it stuck.
Oh,
So
really?
simple as that.
Yep.
And so I've been known as Cabbage. It got shortened to Cab by a lot of my mates.
Mhm.
But yeah, quite a few Wynyard people still call me Cabbage.
Well, fair enough. But anyway, Clayton, look, I know your parents, I know your grandparents, I know several of your other sides of your family. I'm sure they're proud of you and the role you've taken in the community,
Mm-hmm.
and look forward to your return. Thanks for your contribution.
It's been an absolute pleasure,
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.